Hello.
Hello.
Eddie. What is your name?
Andrew Castagnola,
All right. Where are you from?
Cheshire, Connecticut. Right now I live in Waltham.
Okay. What is your job title?
Associate Athletic Director for Operations.
Okay. How did you come about working there?
Just kind of fell into it. I had a grad assistantship here. Really enjoyed that part of athletics. And I was kind of searching for get into the marketing advertising side of athletics, and then I really fell in love with the management part, and then my supervisor retired, and then they brought me on as an interim position, and been here ever since.
What is the favorite part of your job?
Working with the students.
Okay. How do you manage your time?
Well, on game days, it's a set, go through a checklist. I'm usually in the office about 4 hours before a game because I don't like to rush.
Okay.
I have grad assistants, interns that show up 2.5 hours before a game so that we could do a full setup. And that way, if something is not working or we need to upgrade something, we need to do something else, we have time.
Okay. All right. What do you do at work on a daily basis?
Basically, mostly I prepare for the next game.
Okay.
So we have a game this afternoon. So I'm already done planning for this game. I moved on to Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
But when we don't have games, then, I help manage with the facilities. Manage the outside facilities that we have on campus.
All right. What's the best thing about your job?
No day is exactly the same. It's impossible to have a game be the exact same thing. And if I do my job correctly, I get to watch sports for a living.
That's cool. What advice do you have for someone new to the industry?
You're always learning. You're always on your feet. Prepare for the worst and you hope for the best.
Right.
Have a plan B. Have a plan C. If it comes to plan D, God said it ain't happening today.
So hard skills being teachable and measurable abilities, and soft skills being traits that you already have, like a good employee etiquette, good communication. What hard skills should someone in your field have?
Communication. Communication in this job is key. You got to be able to communicate with your student workers, student athletes, coaches, officials, and they all have different types of personalities. So communication is key.
Okay. What soft skills do you say you would already have coming into this job?
Organization.
Okay.
I was never organized, had the messy room, but now, going into college, living with other people, help me prepare to be organized. Class schedules, homework, papers, long-term paper, and they're doing like a month, like start now,
Yeah.
So that's helped me out a lot.
So you would say that just going to school and gaining these experiences helped you out?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you worked in this industry?
So this is my 18th year full-time, 1 year interim, and 2 years as a GA.
Okay.
So
Yeah, alright.
you can sit there, you can do the math, and you go, all right, so 17 full, 320, 20, 21 years I've been involved. But I've been involved with sports my whole life.
Yeah. So, would you say just your love of sports drew you into this field?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Where did you go to school?
I went to school at Quinnipiac University.
What did you study?
Marketing.
Okay. How long have which has been more valuable in your career, your education or your experience?
My education, of course, here at Quinnipiac University. Experience.
Okay.
Experience, I mean, you can't put an education on experience.
Yeah.
I guess that, I don't know if that's the right way to say it. But, situations that come up, you can't learn in a book, and how to handle it.
Yeah.
You just can't.
What was your first job?
My first paying job was what was it? I was a skate guard at a roller skating rink.
Wow. Okay. How does this company differ from others you've worked for?
I mean, here, it's all about the student athlete experience and the best experience that you could give them. The students, it's the same way. It's the best experience you could give them. So I hope that, at the end of 4 years, that the students can look back and say, I had a great time, playing the sport, or I had a great time working for him. I just hope that I can teach the students something before they graduate.
All right. I like that. What are your hobbies?
I like to play lacrosse.
So that ties into your job?
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. What skills did you develop early in your career that have helped you now?
Just my personality. I feel that my personality goes a long way here. Then also, I was taught at an early age, to work hard, to do the work right. Right now it's like, I love being outside. I'm an outside guy. I'm getting dirty. So, and that has helped me with this job. It's loyalty, being the grunt man, being the guy on the ground. Like,
Doing the work.
I do the work. It's just, I don't want to be the guy sitting, up in a box, watching a game. I like to walk around. I like to mingle. I like to talk to people. But it's always eyes are open, ears are open, being able to look through somebody that I'm having a conversation with to see what the issue is on the other side, behind them, and if it needs to be addressed. And, in the beginning of the year, you act on it.
Yeah.
In the beginning of my career, you act on it. Right now, you sit there and you look at it and go, how far do I need to let this go before it becomes time for me to be involved?
Yeah.
Certain things you could let go, have a great time, people being fans. Right now, if it escalates, then it's time to step in.
So how do you make decisions at work? What is your process?
It varies. It all depends on the situation. If there's something that needs my immediate attention, then you act on it. But if, like I said, if there's some things that come up that you can why cause a problem when there's no problem?
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's like there are certain ways on how I like to manage a game, and from that just takes the way on how I want it run. There are different people who have different opinion on things, but they don't realize the back end of it. What it costs or what it takes to do this one little extra thing, rather than just keeping it the same way.
Yeah.
And also, I can't be at everything, and I'm a department of one.
Yeah.
So, it's that saying, pardon me, but, yes, keep it simple, stupid. The easier the setup is, the easier way it is to teach, a grad assistant to do something, the more smoothly the game will go.
Okay. How has the industry changed since you've started?
I mean, sports have always been sports.
Yeah.
I think, the way I think it's just, culture has changed.
Yeah.
So you have to adapt. Culture with, the students, mental health, adults, culture has changed. So certain things that we're able to get past and you could get away with 15, 20 years ago, you can't get away with now.
Yeah. What is the culture like here?
I like to think that the culture here that is the way it was when I was brought in, and it's a tight family.
Yeah.
You can call a coach at any time, and they'll pick up the phone for me. They can call me at any time, and I'll pick up the phone for them. It's just I do whatever I can, to help the coaches and the program succeed.
Okay. What organizational challenges have you faced?
And I think the biggest thing that I have faced is, is budgeting. It's money. It's funding. When, this past year, it's like, COVID money has stopped coming in for, federal, for work study students. So now we have to hire only students that have work study as part of their financial aid package, where in the past I was able to hire whoever I wanted.
Okay.
So that has created a little bit of a challenge, but you know what, it's, you figure it out. You figure it out and you do what you need to do to play the game.
Yeah. What mistakes have you made early in your career?
A lot. I'm not going to get into specifics,
Yeah.
but there's ways on how I would handle a situation, set up something, and fortunately I work for a gentleman who's been here 40 plus years, and like after a situation comes up, I do my write-up, I write my report, I send it to him and say, this is how I handled the situation. And then we'll sit down and we'll talk about how I could have handled it better, or, you did the right thing. Early on, like I said before, there are situations that come up where you sit there and you're eager to act because you're new and you want to prove that you know what you're doing and you have that leadership. And right now, as you get older, you sit there and go, it's not an issue. It's not a problem. Let it go.
Yeah.
And then, until it becomes an issue. It's kids at a hockey game that are yelling, hitting the boards. It's like, go down and go, hey, guys, stay off the boards.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. Ladies, just watch your language. But, it's not a big, huge thing until it becomes an issue. Like there's a read that I go by, and it's, unless it's racial, sexist, foul language, derogatory comments, I'm not going to act on it. Like, it's a fan's right to boo somebody.
Yeah.
Those are some of like the things that, you look at and you're like, well, are they saying something bad? Are they not? There's 8 people in the stands. You could obviously point out the one person. There's 3,500. I can't silence 1,000 people.
Let's see. What qualities do you think are lacking among today's leaders?
The ability to communicate with somebody. Today's world, everybody is, emailing or face down on their phones and text messaging. It's easy to say no over paper.
Yeah.
It's hard to look somebody right in the eye and say no. It is, without an explanation.
Yeah. What are your current goals?
I have a goal that I usually try to set up every year and try to process that goal. My main goal, as I said before, is that after 4 years of college, the students can look back and say, I had a great time here at Quinnipiac, and that I taught them something. We have about 500 student athletes. If I can reach one every year, that's a goal for me. I tell my student workers, you're going to learn a lot from me if you just keep your ears open. Like, I'll say a lot of random things.
Mm-hmm.
Things that I've done in the past that, I've been in their shoes.
Yeah.
I know where they're coming from. I tell my 9-year-old son, like, there's really nothing he's going to do that I haven't been through in life. There are some things, but, you take that when it comes.
Yeah.
So, I guess my main goal really is just to still be able to communicate with the younger generation and pass on some knowledge.
Yeah.
And I hope that they go out in the world and be able to take something that I've done. All my GAs know now how to roll a wire, how to roll up an extension cord correctly.
Yeah.
How not to put a torque on a wire just so it don't put strain on it. And that's something that I have an old GA who physical therapist. And, now it's like he's rolling up cords at work and he's knowing that he can't put strain on it. It's like, okay, I taught him something.
There you go. All right. What do you think your most important risk you took was and why?
Well, my most important risk that I took was transferring from Dowling College to Quinnipiac.
Okay.
Back in 99, 2000, it's a risk I took to get out of the education part and transfer to Quinnipiac. If I never made that transfer, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have this job. I'd be teaching high school and coaching lacrosse somewhere probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I love waking up and I love coming to work every day. And that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
The world of athletics, you don't get into this field to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You get into this field because you love your job.
Yeah. Did you switch from where you came from to here to play lacrosse?
Lacrosse has something to do with it.
Okay.
But I was really unhappy at the school.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the college life that I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And, if I could tell kids one thing that have an issue, that don't like it, and it's like, if you don't like it, get out.
Mm-hmm.
Get out now.
Don't waste any
Don't
time.
wait, because it's going to only get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes, now becomes a mental thing. And, like I said, like, there's things that I've gone through. I don't need to get into details, but, get out.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like your job, like, you graduate here, you go into something, 4 or 5 years from now, and you're like, this just isn't for me, then look for something else, because then you just be miserable going to work.
Yeah.
You'd be sitting in your car for a half hour going, I just don't want to go in. And there are jobs, it's like, you have to, because, you got to pay the bills,
Mm-hmm.
you got to support your family, you got to do these things, but sometimes you just got to man up and do it.
Mm-hmm.
But, with the mental health state that's, around everybody now, it's just, if you don't like it, get out. And college, very easy, transfer.
Yeah.
Find a school you like,
Mm-hmm.
that fits with you.
How do you continue to grow and develop as a leader every day?
It's I'm raising a 9-year-old, so me and my wife, and so it's like, I tell him, he comes home with stories, of course, like every kid does, so and so did this, so and so did that. So I tell him, you be you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how other people act. I don't care how anybody else acts. You be you. You can control yourself, and you can control how you act.
Yeah.
You can't control what other people do. So, like, that's just kind of how, like, I wake up in the morning, you watch the news, you see what's going on in the world, and you're just like, all right, like, but you be you.
Yeah.
If you can go out and you sit there and go, I did the best I could today, fine, great. If you sit there and go like, well, I don't need to do this today, I could do it tomorrow, it's like, well, why didn't you do it today?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah.
My son has a homework assignment that's due on Friday. Why don't we do, sat down, we did it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, why wait?
Sure.
You have the assignment, let's do the assignment. Let's get it over with. So then you can play PlayStation tomorrow. It's easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you generate ideas in your organization?
Well, here you can have an idea. You can have a way to execute the idea. And then sometimes it just comes down to funding.
Yeah.
And is there a MacGyver way to make this happen? Can you piece this thing together? Is it the best scenario? No. You want it done right, you want it done correctly, so cost plays a value in any type of upgrades and things like that we need to do.
Okay. So I know you said that you have a select hiring process. What are the most important traits to look for when hiring?
Class schedule.
Yeah.
That they are available to work. That is the most important thing. Other than that, it's just like, they come in, talk to them a little bit. Before all the online stuff, my my students would do the hiring process.
Okay.
And I want to know what type of student they are from my actual students.
Okay.
And then from that, I will look at their class schedule, and that's how I pick my kids.
Alright.
Well, pick my the student workers. But further, they got to be available to work.
Yeah.
You know, if they can work on the weekends only, you're not going to get past the first round of hiring.
Yeah.
As they move on in their education, you know, each year, then fine, I understand, but you know, you gotta find kids, and then the more kids I have to hire, the less money they get.
Yeah.
Because then the games will stay the same.
Mhm.
I can't make up a game and say, hey, you're gonna work.
Yeah.
So I gotta find students that can work our game.
What do you think the most dangerous trait in is inside leaders in this career?
Arrogance,
Yeah.
you know, do it my way. You know, they don't take, you know, if you don't take suggestions, if you don't reach out and talk to people, you know, I call other schools, like conference operation directors, you know, event managers. You know, I had this situation come up. Have you ever had this with this school or this coach? Then it goes further. But, you know, if you don't reach out and you think that everything you do is right, then you're not going to succeed.
Yeah. Alright. What do you think your favorite game is to work?
I don't know. I don't really have one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like, not every game, every sporting event is the same. So
Yeah.
there's not one I can sit there and say I like working these games over this game. I treat every game the same. It doesn't matter, you know, what game it is.
Yeah.
You know, I do everything the same.
Yeah.
Everything is prepared the same. You know, everything's run the same. You know, there isn't one event I could say is better than the next.
Okay.
You know, it just goes back to, like, you know, you get to know these kids, you get to know these student athletes, you know, these young men and young women that are in the field, and you know, you like watching all of them compete.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you're watching some of the ones that you've been able to grow with, there's new ones that are right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just as talented, they're just as good, they're great kids. And sorry I'm calling them kids, but you know, to me they're a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's just there isn't one sport that I would particularly want to watch over another.
Okay. So would you say it's important not to have bias?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a secret talent?
No.
No. How do you relax at work?
I'll string, like, my relaxation is I'll string lacrosse nets.
Okay.
You know, I'll go around, I'll clean up, you know, I'll help some of, like, facility guys with some of their work, like, just because, like, I want to.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to. I'm sure, like, if I had, you know, if I did that at any other school, I'd be fired.
Really?
But it's like, you know, the sense that I know what I'm doing, and, you know, some people don't really care what I do, so just as long as the job gets done, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like relaxation at work. I mean, I am relaxed.
Yeah. You have to. You say you.
Like I am
Have to be.
relaxed. I'm not. There are times when you are built, but then you have to. You have to bring that into yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's something you have to teach yourself. I am relaxed.
Okay.
That's just the type of person I am.
Yeah. What long-term trait or attribute would you recommend someone have if they were to be going into this field?
I don't know. I mean, I would say just learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
You know, when something is being done, when somebody's coming to work on something, know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Just so it's like, you know, oh, my air conditioner is leaking. You know, it's happening in all the dorm rooms right now.
Mhm.
But like my air conditioner is leaking in my office. So I come in, like first, it's like, yeah, it's the flow valve. It's clogged. That's what's taking the, you know, the condensation out of there, and you know, going somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it's clogged. Okay, well my air conditioner is leaking. You know, you gotta check the flow valve. You know, just learn.
Yeah.
What does this do? What does that do? What does this? You know, when somebody's installing, I could take a scoreboard apart and put it back together again with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
Just because I asked, oh, what does this do? What does that do? What does this do? Like,
So questions are very important.
I would say so.
Yeah.
The right questions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is all I have.
All right, Eddie.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right.